What's up?
What's good, y'all? Alright. I thought we'd start off the day with some Android 13 grinding. Nice way to get the Monday started. And, shoot, I haven't really eaten, so I decided to eat while I'm here. Shoot, I got some leftover Wendy's from yesterday, so I just been smashing on that. Man, Wendy's fries are bussin', bro. And if you guys hear something in the background, it's just my phone. I'm just watching TV while I eat. If you guys are curious what I'm watching, it's Cyclops after Krakoa era from Comics Explained. I can't remember what exact issues he goes over, but it's really interesting. We have to find out some newer stuff about Cyclops. But I'll be quiet so you guys can listen.
During the crash landing, Cyclops' visor breaks, so he actually has to blindfold his eyes and keep his eyes shut the entire time. So effectively, he's walking around blind for the entirety of the story arc.
Damn.
Now, he ends up coming across a girl named May, who's a mutant that has the ability of super strength. But because of the fact that she can't necessarily...
Oh, I read this the other day.
Her abilities basically disappear whenever she's experiencing high levels of stress. And Cyclops teaches her essentially how to control her powers. But it also turns out that May is one of a handful of mutants that have been kidnapped by the Reavers and are basically digging into a mountain trying to find something, but we're not initially told what it is. Eventually we end up learning that it's a guru battle. And so where Cyclops does confront a couple of the Reavers, May is ultimately kidnapped and taken back to the Reavers base of operations. And at that point we get to see how badass Cyclops is when he has to fight without his powers. And honestly, man, this whole segment was basically like a scene out of Predator, where Arnold Schwarzenegger is like setting all these booby traps and things like that. Cyclops is doing the exact same thing. He's picking up plasma cannons, blowing guys to pieces. I mean, it's absolutely bonkers. Like, it's quite literally one of the best.
I don't see why bro left.
I think I've ever read in Marvel Comics. But he quite readily takes out pretty much all the Reavers. A lot of it's because they're just so inexperienced. They've never really faced off against X-Men before, let alone the leader of the X-Men. And so Cyclops ends up making his way back to the cave where the Reavers are operating out of to confront Donald Pierce. But by this point, Donald Pierce has got
Hopefully before the end of the stream we could reach 130. Because I think we're at 127.
And so where he initially tells May and all the other mutants to get out of there as fast as they can, May ends up coming back with a couple of reinforcements, one of whom has essentially heat vision, and the other can tunnel through anything. And so we're
Damn.
that gives Cyclops the blast Donald Pierce through the crack in his armor. Now it doesn't kill, and in fact Donald in Marvel Comics right now.
Ooh,
It's
Thor.
amazing. Right? It does two things. The first is that Thor doesn't know who he is. He's operating under the name Sigurd Jarlson. The second thing is he doesn't have his powers. And so that's why when the story picks up and he says things like, my memory is not very good. I only remember three things about myself. The first is that my name is Sigurd Jarlson. The second is that I know I work with that's why the New York Knicks are going to win the NBA Finals. And so in this conversation with Kristen, she asks him, like, I mean, how did you get up there? And he says, a very pleasant person when I handed me my apartment and told me that my name was Sigurd Jarlson. My wallet that had my identity inside of it. Now, the cool thing about this, and we're just going to call him Sigurd, as he and Kristen are making their way into this alley after leaving the apartment, they come across the exact same kid that found Sigurd in the alley, gave him his wallet, and then gave him the apartment key. Now, if your initial knee-jerk reaction is that, okay, this kid's probably Loki, you're 100% right. It is Loki, 100%. And he's very mysterious. This movie is Thor.
Yeah. Also, this is not the one I want or listen to it. Mega Fast. I do need to catch up on GTKO. God damn it. You bastard! Bring me that last boy. Yeah! Okay, I'm getting sick of fucking firing this Final Flash. I am so changing my moves after this band. My Final Flash misses. My Final Explode. Shit. Holy. That man don't miss. Here we go. Bring that out here, boy. Boo! Boo, 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 boo. Boo, 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 boo. How did you fall out of my combo? I don't fucking know. Go slap. Ow. He wants me. We got a giant Namekian? You don't see those every day. Psych. They're the heals. I don't know why I'm not using them.
Switch over to Barry, and he says, my name is Barry Allen. I am the Flash, and if I do not stop the anti-monitor from firing this antimatter cannon, every remaining universe will be destroyed. Countless lives. And he says, the power
Your
core,
time with Gohan
this is
really
it.
showing.
And that's when Impulse shows up and tries to stop Barry. Now, a little bit of filling in the gaps here. For those of you guys who are unfamiliar with this bit of Barry's history, most of you guys are probably aware that Barry died during Crisis on Infinite Earths. He was supposed to die, right? It was supposed to be the end of his character's story. And post-Crisis, the Flash...
I'm trying to think. I think it's like 4 or 5 times for 10 grand. And we're like 10 grand points away from where we need to be. So we'll run through it. Was that one? Is that the first one? No, the second one. So 3 more times. And I'll check again.
What had actually happened is he had been stuck in the Speed Force, and while he was there, he was literally outrunning death the entire time. And so that's what it means when you see that scene when Barry comes running out of the Speed Force and just shouts "run," right, and the Black Racer's right behind him, because he's literally being chased by death. This is right before he was supposed to die. And that's why Bart tells him, right, you can't do this. I will not let you. And Barry doesn't know who Bart Allen is, right? He has no clue who Bart is. And he just says, son, I don't know who you are, but I have to do this. And Impulse says, I am a hero. Heroes fix things. And so he literally tackles Barry in an effort to save his life.
Man, bro, I swear, I'm not sure if any of you guys ever seen, was it Young Justice? Where Impulse, that's like the first time I ever got to see him, was in Young Justice. Bro, dude, so fucking awesome. I wish we could have got to see more of him. I really like how he was made to go back and, like, not how he was made, well, you know what I mean. The characters made, the creators made him so he can go back in time and save Blue Beetle from becoming evil. I don't know, I've always loved that. Just two brothers.
And the response of Darkseid? No, child. Impulse will save his grandfather by taking his place, sacrificing himself. And because Impulse is a living embodiment of the Speed Force, when he dies, the Speed Force will die, and Omega Speed will reign supreme throughout my new universe.
Damn.
I
I did not know that.
All that ever was, is, and shall be in my name.
Oops, we gotta add motherfuckers. Oh, one thing's for sure.
Cannot destroy the Speed Force. It's simply just too much.
I have to make sure you guys can actually hear this. Damn it. I need to mute myself.
Destroy the Speed Force.
All right.
It's simply just too much.
So I went back on the audio, and you guys can hear it when I'm just chilling. So that's good to know. Now I gotta work on seeing if I can get the audio to come in more.
And so at that point, you switch over, back to Bart and to Barry. And Barry just kind of knocks him out of the way and says, look, I'm sorry, son, but we have a limited time here. And so at that point, Darkseid kind of starts to nudge Impulse and says, save him. You don't have to let him go. Be the hero you profess to be. And so that's why Bart responds to this subtle manipulation. And he says, let me do it. Let me take your place. I am fast enough. I can pull this off without ending myself. And that's where Barry just says, I told you for your own good. Get out of here now. And once it says, no, I will not let you go. It is not how it is. That's why. Just back to the original. Like, it's just it's coming.
Get back here. Stupid ads.
Turn out pretty fast. And then at that point, you jump to Max Mercury. And he says, my name is Whip Whirlwind, or Max Mercury.
Oh, for once we stayed. Aw, shit.
The Flash. I've come through the time stream, even as it barely holds itself together, to recruit help. Wally told me about the tournament that this Justice League is currently embroiled in. Darkseid could corrupt every hero in existence, or destroy them outright. Even I was corrupted, because he was. He was overtaken by Saturn Girl and manipulated by Darkseid. But he says, Wally said that there's one person who is immune to Omega energy, and I have to find them. But this is Challenger's Mountain, so I simply may just be too late. And when he gets to his destination, he's asked, too late for what, Mr. Lickety-Split? And that's where Max says, you must be Rocky Davis from the Challengers of the Unknown. Now, let's explain this. Now, let's give you guys some context. Number one, the Challengers of the Unknown are dope. And the Christopher Campbell story is fantastic. And we won't go through every single detail. We will talk about what pertains here. So let's try to go about what we're seeing here is Ultimax Employees. Kind of like a significant robot. Right? He was created by a woman named June, and there's a whole history here. And he tried to create other robots. What matters is the context of the story.
Oh, I thought I hit the fucking damn. I hit Super Guard, and it wasn't quick enough. I missed. Damn it. Oh, now he comes back.
Which is how he ends up here. And it covers Challengers of the Unknown. It ties directly into everything. Max just said, right? My friend named Wally believes the more we disrupt and change what occurred, the more it becomes a mess, referring to the time stream. But he says, my friend Bart believes that if we possess that power, we should try to undo.
Hey, we got second place.
Still need something.
So we're talking about moral quandaries here, right? Ethics. And so Max just says, both of these are intriguing hypotheses, and I don't know which one is right. And Rocky just says, me neither, man. But those innocent people down there are all dead, hundreds of them. And I just watched my home get destroyed again, which had actually happened in Challengers of the Unknown issue number 1 from 1994. I believe was the year it came out. But Max just says, Rocky Davis, you can still help, right? There is a greater threat. And Rocky's like, isn't there always? And so at this point, we switch back over to Wally, right? And Wally just says, the surface of apocalypse, right? It's secret. Excess is in hot pursuit, but I am faster, especially as we get closer and closer to my present. But if life has taught me one thing, it's that it's a marathon, not a sprint. And so that's where Excess just says, for Omega, for Darkseid, and and then is suddenly whisked away to the Omega Force and doesn't know where she is. And Darkseid just says, I absorbed you into the Omega Force, my Legionnaire, for you have failed me. You could not run fast enough. Now, you will burn here forever. And just leaves. And so at that point, Wally goes to attack Darkseid and just says, all of this ends now. And Darkseid just says, you must be proud of Bart Allen. So selfless. Because at that point, Wally doesn't realize what's going on with Bart. He doesn't realize everything that's happening in that moment. Now, of course, the Legionnaires show up and they try to fight Wally for touching Darkseid because, they love and adore him so much. But Darkseid just says, I will place you on my pyre of dead soon enough. But first, watch Impulse play hero. And that's where he looks at the screen monitors and sees that Bart is fighting Barry and trying to sacrifice himself instead of letting Barry do it. And so that's what he says, right? Barry and Bart, they are fighting inside the anti-monitor's core. And so he just says, I've still got my Legion flight ring. This could very well be suicide, but Bart wouldn't think twice. Let's see if my aura can last at least a few light years.
My aura, head ass.
Or suffocate to death. And he just says, I am coming, Bart, and takes off, right? It's super speed. But where the Legionnaires are sent by Darkseid to respond, that's when Rocky, Max, and Ultivac show up to basically kind of offer some measure of defense, right? To hold the line, giving Barry the time he needs to escape. Now, here's the funny thing about it, is that in the midst of all of this, Saturn Girl goes to make her move, right? And tries to retake control of Max Mercury, because having a speedster on their side would basically nullify this fight with Rocky and Ultivac. They would never really have much of a chance. But that's where Ultivac just starts hammering on Saturn Girl and says, her mind powers are strong, but I have no mind. And of course, Rocky's like, look, man, don't sell yourself short. Right, you have a mind, you're sentient, you can think for yourself. But again, in that moment, because it was all a distraction, Darkseid's taken off, right? Disappeared. And Max is like, where in the world did he go? And so that's where Rocky just says to your friends on that ship, get a blue tube working. He's going there. We have to follow him. Because if he shows up on the scene, it's endgame, right? And so at that point, you pick up with Wally showing up to confront both Barry and Bart. And he actually tries to tell them, right, stop. I have tried this exact thing. It will not work. And Wally has, right? Wally's tried to go back and prevent Barry from sacrificing himself, even at the expense of everything that Crisis on Infinite Earths does. Because keep in mind, Crisis on Infinite Earths is one of these significant events in the history of the DC universe and multiverse. It was the first crisis. It eliminated the multiverse as it previously existed, and then set in motion a singular timeline that we called New Earth. And while a lot of that's kind of been undone and changed and altered based on the Dark Crisis event from more recent years, or instead of it kind of wiping out all that history, that instead it restores it all, but the idea behind this is that at the end of the day, this event has to happen. Barry has to die, or at least sacrifice himself during Crisis on Infinite Earths. Everything that comes after hinges on that. It's the significance of these iconic moments within the time stream. And so that's where Impulse just says, sorry, Granddad, and clocks Barry. And then he just says, Wally, I am not going to stand by and let bad stuff happen. I am the Speed Force, and I can do this. We can do this. And so the problem is that when Wally goes to stand in and try to stop Bart, the Darkseid shows up and snatches up Wally and yanks him away and just says, he's right. You let Barry Allen die. Don't you remember? You are no hero. Wally West, just a coward, unwanted, an imposter, and a fraud. And so in the midst of all of this, Jay Garrett chimes in momentarily. Now keep in mind, Jay Garrett lost during DCKO, so he's essentially dead, or at least existing in the form of a statue. But he's still able to reach out to Bart and speak to him.
Motherfucker. Jesus Christ, 13?
To break free. Wally in turn goes and grabs Impulse and says, No, right? That cannot happen. And even Impulse doesn't understand, right? He's like, why does this have to happen? Why does Barry have to die? And the response of Wally is, because it's his choice, Bart. It's what makes him a hero. And we will all see him again. He's going to come back. Like he said, he will return to us. We must endure, die, live, and depart to return our sacred cycle forever, for all time. And he says, I see it happen. It hurts. Every part of me grieves, screams, wails. But I know it's not the end. Now, this is important, and it's very easy to gloss over. I've seen a lot of reviews on Reddit and on Twitter and across social media where people kind of lambast it as a comic that's mid at best. And while there's certainly aspects of it that don't make sense or all that great, one thing here is that when it comes to this moment, this is Mark Waid etching in stone the fact that there are certain elements of the Flash mythos that will always be iconic and will always stay intact. Barry Allen sacrificing himself during Crisis on Infinite Earths is arguably the most iconic moment of his character in the history of DC Comics. It's what most DC fans know him for. If they know him for nothing else, they know him as the guy who died during the Great Crisis. But not only that, when it comes to the timeline, there are some things you cannot change. They are etched in stone for eternity. There's no way to go back and undo it. There's no way to prevent it from happening. If you do, the consequences are disastrous. The Great Crisis is one of them. Flashpoint is another. When Barry tried to go back and save his mom's life, successfully did so and screwed up the timeline. His mom has to die, and it has to work that way. So again, he's already benefited from this, and it's cool to see that Mark Waid is kind of solidifying this, etching it in stone, as a moment that will forever exist within the timeline. And so in this moment, as Barry just kind of fades away, just like he did in the original Crisis event, and does succeed in defeating the Anti-Hero, Wally just says, don't look, Bart. And Bart says, Wally, in the Speed Force, I can see him. I can see Barry. And Barry's just kind of roaming around it, right? He says, wait, where am I? Like, what is this? And Bart hears it in a non-recorded it says, the Speed Force, Barry Allen, you did it. You saved us all. I am so proud of you, Grandpa. I am proud to be an Allen. Now, this is the true nature of the retcon that Mark Waid has been introducing here as part of the Flash mythos.
Yo, so we got 2 people in the stream.
Mark Waid was the one who introduced the Speed Force.
Damn, dude, one-shot me. Oh, you one-shot the homie too.
Essentially introducing the idea that the Speed Force itself is part and parcel to the Flashes, and all the members of the Flash family just
come on, y'all, we got this.
Different aspects of the Speed Force. Nothing more, nothing
Damn, we're dropping like flies. We only got 20 seconds.
Yes, Wally West mainlines the Speed Force. Barry Allen created it, but in some fashion or another, everybody just tapped into it in some capacity.
What is this Namekian? Is he trying to pick us up? Yeah, let's go.
Next level is coming up.
W game.
So we may very well see huge changes building from this as far as how the Flash is released to the Speed Force. But that's the retcon, right? That they all are just somehow
made it through.
Representation of the Speed Force in different forms and fashions. And so that's when you switch back to this moment here, when the antimatter cannon of the Anti-Monitor is about to explode, right? The core is exploding. We have to get out of here as fast as we can. And Wally even says, the time stream, it's all but destroyed. We will not make it here, right? But again, Ultivax just says, I can trace Omega points in time. because ultimately they're stuck here. Right? They don't have the ability to jump through the stream anymore like they previously could. And so that's where Wally just says, take us to the strongest source of Omega energy you can detect, which has to be the DCKO tournament. They're literally fighting for the heart.
Damn, can we load?
That Omega
Shit.
energy. Now, the other thing here is that Jay Garrett just said, look, I have to go back to my time, right? I can't disrupt the time stream by traveling with you. But
somebody must be one barring.
see you in the future anyway, and likely remember all
I couldn't remember.
So that's when Wally said,
Low-key, I just let those people join. Just randomly started.
Is far from over, but if I ever time travel again, I will eat my own shoe. Then he says, time resets, things change and stay the same. We depart and we return. This is our sacred cycle forever, for all time. And so that's when Wally just looks at Impulse and says, this is it, Bart, the whole shebang. And Bart's like, dude, what are we waiting for, Wally? And Wally just says, I will race you there, because at this point, they are taking off to DCKO and the ending of the story with issue number 5. With that being said, guys, we're going to bring this video...
Peak. That was a good issue. So what do you think, chat? I'm not sure how many of you guys were tuned in for that, but I thought it was really good. I really enjoy the DCKO stuff. And the fact they got a whole little spin-off just for the Flashes, even better. I really hope this is the last one. The amount of times I've done this raid already, I'm going crazy. Crazy? I was crazy once. Oh, how we doing, chat? How we doing? It's good math, Pete. Let's see if I can invite some of the last fuckers I just did. So I'm not trying to sit here and wait. Yo, boys on the grind. Check out my gacha games. I logged in last night, so I guess it counts as me logging in today. It's cool. At least I don't have to worry about it later. Alright. Perfect amount of people. Works for me, shit. I can get some background music going. Throwing a daily mix. No, not that one. Here we go. Alrighty, let's go, baby. I just want the rewards from this shit, man. I know these things give out really good rewards. I just can't miss out on them now. Especially now that I'm back playing the game. Also, blinker checkpoint for all my twins out there. You got a cart, smack that bitch. You got a bog, pack that hoe. You got a joint, spark that bitch. Etc., etc. Alright, 3, 2, 1. Let's go, baby. Man, what is taking these dudes so long to choose their character? Holy shit. I feel like I've been sitting here for like 10 minutes. That's exaggerated, but you guys get what I'm saying. Did the game bug out? What the fuck happened? It's gotta be somebody loading. Has to be. Bruh. I mean, we're all still in here, so somebody's gotta leave. I mean, it ain't me. I'm the host. Bruh. Are we just locked in here now? Bro. Come on. Man. I'm not trying to close the app because I'm streaming and then I have to restart the entire stream. Oh my god, bro. I'll give it a second. I'll complete this stage. And then if they're still here, I guess I'll leave. So this is actually dumb as fuck. Berserker. Alright. Oh, somebody left, but it didn't work. So it wasn't him. Yeah. Wait for input from other players. Oh my lord. Yeah, I'm out of here. We're just stuck in an infinite loading screen. Alright, I'll be right back, guys. I'm stuck on an infinite loading screen. I'm gonna have to close the app. It's gonna close the stream and I'm gonna restart it.